Okay, so the restart has happened, but very unfortunate to say it. The audio still can't be fixed. I don't know what it is. Sorry also for the double. I can't get the audio back. I don't know what my capture card is doing. Probably a bit of a bigger issue there. We still have the video, so that's at least one part. But I sadly can't bring the audio back. Very unfortunate. I'm sorry for that part. I'll have it with music still, so you at least have some audio as well as we're commentating over it. But very unfortunately, not being able to get any in-game audio back, sadly. Capture card now acting up, sadly, a lot more than I would have expected.
That's okay. Thank you for the try, Felix.
I mean, it's the only try I had right now that would have been, let's say, a quicker fix. So, lesson learned for me not to switch up the audio too much in the future, because if I do it, that might actually break the capture card sound settings. So that being the issue I have right now. Very unfortunate, sorry for that, but nonetheless, we can still enjoy the matchups as we go along. But yeah, looking at you, how do you think this is going to play out? Will we see a best of 2 once again? Or so just 2 matches of the best of 3? Or will we see 3? Up to you to check. As both players are already ready, or both teams, so you have to make it quick.
Let me go into my thinking position right now.
Oh god. Everyone, this might be a long one, sorry.
I need to think, right? These are some analytics going on here. No, I'm just joking. I think Reborn has a slight advantage because they've just been playing on that map and they've won on that map.
Yep.
But I also know that Suknix is very strong on that map too. And I think it will be very close.
Yep.
Probably going into overtime.
Honestly, from my perspective, looking at the performance of that Suknix, I think we're not going to see a third match. But I wouldn't also think that we have to go into overtime. That's my feeling from the performance we've seen. Because once they're warmed up, they have a decent chance. And I'm not sure if Mirage is the favorite map by Play Reborn or Datsuknix. But I doubt that it's going to be going into Nuke. Just from my honest feeling.
Yeah, I'm also not sure if you really see Nuke, but depending if Reborn is keeping the nerfs and play as good as on Mirage previously, I think it's gonna be very close and possibly into overtime.
Yeah, let's see how it's actually going to play out. We're waiting for the players to be ready. All players have connected onto the server, so in a moment we'll actually get to see the matchup. I'll keep the audio in the background, the music, so to at least have something play over so we don't have the silence and just our voices. But yeah, we'll sadly not have the in-game audio back.
You know, it worked earlier. I said that we want to see interesting matches. Now we're gonna say we want to see overtime. So maybe it will work out.
And maybe if you say we want to hear audio, it also works as well. Let's just try it for everything we need.
Yes, Felix, we want to hear audio.
Yeah, we're only waiting for 2 team members of Team Datsuknix to be ready, as far as I can tell. And then I can switch back into the game for the potentially last match of tonight.
Felix, I think I might take the time to quickly step away.
Alright, go for it. I'll go back to my host solo, and once actually the map starts, then I'm gonna go back and I'll remove your camera from the game scene as well. Alright, see ya! Alright, so once again it's only me. Welcome back. So I'm quickly going to hide Kate from the in-game scene as well, as we are now approaching the knife round. So let me transition to that one already as well. As you can see now, we're in the last match, potentially the last match of this tournament. If Datsuknix wins this, Play Reborn has to win it to stay alive. Oh, I almost drank it in the wrong way. As you see the knife round currently, I think Play Reborn winning the knife round once again. So of course them having the choice if they want to stay or go. And they actually decided to swap because they want to begin on CT side. Once again, the favorable spot for them. It worked out quite well in the previous match. Let's see how that Suknix can capitalize from T side. I know that they're strong on T side, so let's see. Was Play Reborn the Swedish team? Exactly, that's who they are. And also, hi Kevin, nice to see you in the chat. As we now see, yeah, the first round of this matchup. I'm doing well. Excited for this finale. A bit pissed off that the audio's gone, but I'm okay with that. It happens. So yeah, Play Reborn versus Datsuknix. We see the first matchup going mostly from Datsuknix towards a B side. Not a rush, but actually taking their time, as Trigger is the only one going through mid. Maybe causing a bit of a distraction right here, as Hogel and Nosq are trying to take him down. And now the drop on potentially A side, as Trigger defeats Nosq as well. Can't quite get the drop on Muffin as well, as Datsuknix secures the side on B, getting the bomb plant down early on. And now Muffin having to retake the side from 4 players. That's going to be a tough challenge to do. And can't quite get it done. Welcome back. Should I put your camera back as well?
And first round goes to Datsuknix.
Yes, it did.
Coming back to the right moment.
Yeah. Should I put your camera on as well?
Yes.
Alright, there you are. Alright, Datsuknix winning the early round. And I mean, it's just a pistol round, so everything's still open. But of course, now having the gun advantage, will we see once again another loop that Play Reborn has done before? Who knows? At least last time, they made a loop through the entire map just to get ahead, as both teams sticking very well together and missing each other, as Play Reborn stacking on A side, as, well, unfortunately, Datsuknix is going to be. But now, the train of Play Reborn slowly going towards B side, trying to retake the site now, as, of course, Datsuknix having the site secured already, getting the bomb plant down as fast as they can, and Trigger getting the first kill on Muffin, as Hogel just waiting for someone to come through. I don't know why he's waiting for that. And Trigger gets Balvan as well. And now it's only 3 people left on Play Reborn's side to try and retake the side. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do this, to be honest. As Trigger once again getting the drop on Hogel. I don't know what he was waiting for there at the vent, because it seemed highly unlikely anybody was going to go through, as Team Datsuknix now just picking off players as they go along. Actually dropping past Nosq, who tried to knife him. Valiant effort, but didn't quite get the knife on him. He had to probably right click instead of left click. That was his issue. That at least would be my guess.
You can give him that as an advice.
Yeah, I'll give it to him now. Next time right click, and that will be at least your moment to shine. You see Lerox smoking off mid right now, already early on.
Smoking quite literally.
I mean, that's actually for you to say. As Nosq gets the drop on Trigger, who's trying to go through tunnel. Very nice placement, very nice read. As Lerox avenges his friend directly from the top of mid, as they're now trying to probably push more towards the A side if I see the placement of the respective team. And the A side, also the place where I think it's Blackbird. Actually, no, it's Anchor. Already on Palace, opening up the side for his team, and now it's the question of how fast can either team join their teammates on A side as well, because we see both teams rotating. But of course, having heard Hogel coming through jungle, Lerox picking him off immediately, as Anchor gets defeated by Kali, but immediately the trade-off from Lerox as well, with Baumann having to defeat 3 players on A side. Not sure if this is going to be a manageable task for him, as he gets the drop on TPMS, but we still have 2 more players defending the side, and as he jumps up, Blackbird catching him in midair, securing a 3-point lead early on for Team Datsuknix. Of course, now the question is Play Reborn probably going for another eco, and afterwards having to revisit their strategies a bit, because the way they're defending the sites right now doesn't work out in their favors. So definitely have to come up with a strategy to keep Datsuknix a bit at bay for the start.
Both jump down mid.
Jumped down mid, expecting someone from tunnels, but nobody home when tunnels, as Lerox picks them off from the back. Unfortunate for them. It would have been a good attempt if again people would have gone through the tunnels right there, but unfortunate for them as they didn't have anybody to receive there, as Trigger getting this Kali from CT side and TPMS getting Hogel also on B side. B side being completely clear, and it doesn't even matter because Trigger gets Muffin on A side with a 4-point lead so far. So far, a very dominant performance.
It's gonna be difficult for Reborn now.
Well, so far they had 2 ecos, so it's still hard to say when they will actually start. I guess they're trying to protect that mid. The problem is, will they actually go into mid? We see 2 of them going towards mid.
2, yeah.
Or at least one of them. And he gets Trigger, actually. A very nice shot at the start. But of course now being smoked off. Can't really do anything from window. And now the question is, how will they make these 3 ops work as well? Hogel trying to look through apps, but nobody's home to greet him there. As we have mostly all the players of Team Play Reborn on A side except for Hogel. Hogel, of course, giving that information of stay on A, they're not coming here. As a very nice shot by Anchor, getting 2 kills with the op on Muffin and Balin right here, turning the tides in favor of Team Datsuknix. But still, the 3 ops are remaining, and ops are not to be messed with. So, still, they're not out of the woods just yet, because every shot of that op means a potential kill on the side of Team Datsuknix. As Anchor now hoping for someone to come from jungle. We have one person slowly coming towards jungle, so it might be a valid strategy. As Kali can't quite connect with that op shot. Now Kali connecting actually through the smoke, through the wood, and getting Blackbird. Very well done, and now expecting a player to come from T side. As Nosku gets, captured by TPMS, but of course that information very important for Kali as he picks off TPMS right here. And Anchor with the op on Palace, defending the bomb with everything he can, and also mollying it now to have some more time. As well, Kali has a smoke, but he can't have enough time, so trying to save the op right here. As potentially Anchor trying to get the drop on Kali as well. Not sure if he can actually pull it off. And I guess both players being able to save that precious op for themselves. The 5-point lead for Team Datsuknix is a very strong lead. And as I said, they feel comfortable on T side, and they're proving the point just now.
The thing is, they're also strong on CT side, so maybe the very well team play from Reborn will help them out on T side. So let's see if maybe on T side Reborn will get a few more rounds.
Could be, but so far they're being destroyed by Team Datsuknix on this. As now all 3 going towards mid, getting actually picked off by Hogel and Nosku, turning the tides a bit in favor of Team Play Reborn, but Trigger moving around through jungle, actually getting the drop on Hogel and Muffin. And Nosku, last one being remaining, the man, the living legend, but he cannot defend the bomb against that many players. And therefore,
not moving around anymore. I think it's like dancing around.
I mean, he tried, but unfortunately he got swarmed from both sides, and that's nothing that he can do. He tried his best, but unfortunately couldn't quite turn the tides again for his team. As we're still on the 6-round streak for Team Datsuknix, and of course that now getting into the mind of Team Play Reborn, because that will actually, well, that will surprise him as well, as we see Kali and Muffin and Nosku all 3 trying to protect mid. As Trigger moves around from tunnels and actually gets a drop on all 3 of them. Very important placement and very well played by Trigger, but now gets dropped on by Hogel, getting Anchor into the 1v2 and potentially allowing them to allowing Reborn to get their point on the board. I mean, Anchor has an op and he has proven that he's good with it, but still, this is the closest Play Reborn has gotten so far to potentially win a round for themselves. As you see now them trying to corner Anchor, who picked up another weapon, probably more in favor of him, but he has to move fast because he's about to get gunned down from behind by Play Reborn, unfortunately missing their shots, and of course opening up now the potential to go towards B side as he's getting mollied off to give enough time for, well, both team members to try and corner him inside that tunnel. A good strategy, but Anchor has to get out as fast as possible, or else he's probably gonna get, well, sandwiched by Hogel and Bavan, and he's running out of time as well, so he has to do something and fast. As Bavan really hiding himself very well, and now of course getting the drop on Bavan, on Anchor, getting his first point for Play Reborn in this matchup. But of course the economy of Datsukniks looking very well, so that one is not going to stop them too far, but maybe a boost of morale for Play Reborn to turn the tides a little bit in their favor.
I mean, they showed also in different games that they have the potential to come back. So maybe now is the time where they come back and give a bit of a hard time towards Datsukniks. Could
be the case. Trigger getting the first shot probably on mid, and Kali now returning the favor, defending the side on A side as the tunnel kill by Noskio on Anchor right here. And again we see a very distributed strategy by the team of Play Reborn, but Noskio being very low, probably not being able to do too much unless he gets a drop on one of the players. Sogel now in the corner, or in a bit of a pickle against Lerox and TPMS on mid. And Lerox now moving slowly with the bomb towards B potentially. Interesting strategy because it's only defended by a player with 7 HP. Could be in their favor. As TPMS now trying to get Hogel, who quickly retreated into the little vent right here. It's not really a vent, but it's an opening in the wall at least. And now hoping for him to come back to try and peek him and holding this angle for his teammate. As Muffin now trying to potentially run it, or potentially running exactly into that corner that they are.
Have a duel between Lerox.
Yeah, potentially a duel between Lerox and Noskio, but Noskio is 7 HP. Not sure if he's gonna be able to capitalize on it. Hogel now just waiting and actually gets the drop on Trigger. As Lerox gets the kill on Noskio and potentially now planting the bomb as TPMS also joins him on B side. And now the two of them having to defend the side from the team Play Reborn and actually getting Hogel, who's trying to join in. And now the important part is for Play Reborn to work as a group. And now of course the important information from Lerox that there's one person from short which might help TPMS to turn the tide, and he does! Defending the side from 2 players and winning the round for Datsukniks. With only a quick break in their streak before picking it right back off where they left off. I mean, 8 rounds, 7 of them won by Team Datsukniks so far. A very dominant performance by that team. And again, another eco round on Team Play Reborn. So they seem to be struggling in this matchup. I'm trying to grasp for potential strategies, because they have an eco round but also being split up, and I don't think that's going to work in their favor. Because we've seen before that if they're split up, Datsukniks will just pick them off one by one, as we see it right here. 2 quick headshots by Lerox. Can he get the third one under Palace? Or can Kali get the drop on him? He expected, but he can still get the headshot. Very nice placement of the cursor by Kali, but Blackbird of course knowing that. And Kali still defending the side from him as well. But we still have Trigger and now only Anchor, as Noskio also getting the headshot on Trigger. So turning again the commentator's curse on, as I said, that distributed strategy as a team that has potentially an eco is not really working that well, but they're making the most of it, and now also picking up the weapons dropped by the team members, and a very nice molly forcing Kali out of hiding as Anchor picks off both team members, extending the lead once more for Team Datsukniks. Team Datsukniks is definitely on fire. They want the Amazon gift card for sure.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Lerox needs his replacement keyboard.
Yes, he does.
Let's see. Definitely Team Reborn has to find a way to come up with some sort of strategy. As we see Kali now picking off the first one and expecting a second one, and actually getting the kill on Blackbird, who's just following the footsteps of his first team member. Lerox also very low, as now Anchor gets the drop on Bavan, hoping for someone to be behind the corner, but nobody's home. He's now mauling under Palace. Muffin in connector, getting the drop on TPMS. That's looking like a potential round for Play Reborn. As we see Datsukniks trying to regroup to maybe work as one team together, at least the last 2 remaining players. That might work in their favor as Play Reborn is very distributed, but we have that Kali with that very, very dangerous op right here.
Difficult round for that Technics. Larux being low.
Definitely, but Play Reborn play their angles well, play their strategies very well, potentially finding an upper hand against that Suknix in this matchup. Because you get Kali getting Larox down and also getting his Kali killed, I think 4 people in that team right now, potentially one play away from an ace here. So very well done by him with the op. As Play Reborn gets at least their second point on the board. And I think all they should do is now try to get that Suknix out of the double digits before they go on the side switch, because that's what's going to bring them back. So we have to get a comeback from Play Reborn if they want to have a chance to stay alive in this tournament and potentially win the keyboard away from Larox.
Or maybe some extra supply of coffee.
As we see Noscu now trying to face Larox and TPMS here, trying to use a lot of util, but Larox pushing through and gets the trade with TPMS at least. And now the team of that Suknix trying to push on the A side, but Bavan B side defending it very well, holding his angle quite well. As I think now the player of that Suknix waiting for his team member to join, as Trigger gets a drop on Muffin, and Anchor actually defeats Hogel and Apps, turning the tides for their team. And now, of course, the question is, can they defeat the player on short? Because that information is known that he is there. And I think the 3 players having him cornered, if the last player of Play Reborn can't connect to them as well and rotate, they might have a problem. And now it's up to Kali to defeat both Trigger and Blackbird on B side, which is going to be quite the challenging task. He has an op that puts him in a very favorable position. But it's still against 2 players that are very strong at holding that side. And he gets the drop on Blackbird, who tried to look for short, but actually gets a very nice angle from Kitchen right here. And now we see Trigger by bench, now knowing where Kali is, and actually gets to defend the side, putting that Suknix one step closer to that double digits. So far, definitely looking like it's going to be the tournament win for Team Suknix, but we have seen comebacks before, so still, we're not even at the halfway point of the match. Nothing is decided yet.
But what can Reborn change in order to get more rounds against the Suknix?
My feeling is staying together. The problem is they're always being picked off one by one, especially when retaking a side. They're always moving one by one, giving the team members enough time to pick off each approaching member of Play Reborn together. I think that's what they need to do, to try and flank them when they do the retake and actually do it together as a group instead of just one by one. Because that's just, I think, their weakest point once the plant is actually down. And of course, in the best case, avoiding the plant in the first place, but that against this team is very, very difficult. You see Bavan now getting the drop on the mid players, now the Trigger having to do a 3v1 against all players of Play Reborn. As we also see, the eco of that Suknix is very, very low at this point. All the ops for Larox now, or Trigger now, well, keeping their toll on Team Suknix. As Trigger now being Molly, but actually gets the kill on Bavan. And gets the kill as well on Kali. And can he get the 3rd kill on Noscu in connector? Noscu with the farmhouse, and he actually gets it with the Deagle, winning the double digits point for Team Suknix. And now it's safe to say that this is going to be very, very difficult for Play Reborn to come back from. It's only 6 rounds left, and a very nice performance by Trigger, defending it from 3 different opponents. Very well done.
Trigger's girlfriend is on fire too in the chat, cheering for the entire team.
Well, definitely understandable. That was a very nice performance. And we see Team Play Reborn now trying to stick completely together in mid, 4 stacking mid, and of course leaving the opening to get flanked from connector. And I think it was a valid strategy, a valid effort, but not really working out in their favor for the moment. Well, never mind, they got 3 people out. What am I saying? We still have Anchor and Blackbird trying to get this round win, of course, for Team Suknix. As, well, the big issue is Blackbird has A side. And if he can keep the team in mid, they can get the bomb plant down, and then they only have to play for time. They don't even have to defeat both players, and I think right now they're doing a very good job at getting keeping them out of A side. As we see now, Noscu just running recklessly once again. A reoccurring scene, sadly, by Noscu. Not checking his corners, but just rushing in and getting defeated. As now it's up to Kali once again to try and defeat 2 players. He can do it, but it's safe to say that with the defensive team Datsuknix, that will be another round for Datsuknix, leading them one step closer to the tournament win. He's now also potentially trying to save his gun, as he knows he doesn't have the time to defuse now anyways. Anchor saving the op. Very important weapon as well. And Kali trying to hide, getting that AK away, and actually will most likely get the save unless he gets dropped on by Blackbird, but I think Blackbird doesn't have the time.
Maybe I was a little bit wrong with my overtime prediction.
Maybe a little bit, but as I said, it's not over yet. Maybe it's just for Team Play Reborn that they're more favorable on the T side. So might see a comeback there, so nothing's over just yet. But it's gonna be very challenging for sure. And also bless you.
Sorry.
As we see Kali now getting the drop on 3 players of Team Play Reborn, but not seeing that there's a 4th one coming in, sadly. As Noskida having to take the side from 2 players, and now actually taking it careful, which he should have done a lot more earlier. And yeah, as we see, Noscu, the man, the myth, the legend, now sadly no longer a legend, at least for this round.
But that was from Collie, or how you're calling him now. Very well positioned.
Yeah.
Caught them a bit off guard.
Yeah, the unfortunate point was I think he heard the player coming through Palace, trying to get the drop on him, looking for that, and missing TPMS, who was the last player on A ramp, because he could have gotten him as well if he just stayed on A ramp. And I think that was the crucial mistake. And a very nice nade getting triggered down, or a very nice util getting triggered down already out of the match. As you see, Baban now taking down Lerox on mid, putting a lot of pressure at least now, or not a lot of pressure, but at least putting the odds in favor of Play Reborn to at least win this last halfway point. As we see now, Anchor and Blackbird trying to push towards B side, which is the least defended side. It's only defended by Noscu. And not sure if he can defend it against 2 players from Team Datsuknix. Probably not. He can at least get down 1, and it's now a 1v4. He has the bomb, but it's still very challenging. He gets Hogel on short, and now has enough time to plant the bomb before Play Reborn can get together. And now the question is, will we see the reoccurring strategy of them going one by one into the crossfire of Blackbird? Let's see if it's going to happen. They actually are now waiting together, and that's what they should have done. Getting the distraction from Apps, and now actually getting the drop by Kali, defeating him as well. So that's how they should have done the retakes before. And now, putting them on the board again, and now of course, 12v3 looks horrible, and it is horrible for Team Play Reborn. But it's still not over. They still have the potential to come back if they, well, play their strats right, and if they can get a good strategy to keep Team Datsuknix from stopping them to plant any bombs as well, and getting early plants throughout the round, getting the drop onto it. And I think the key now for Team Play Reborn is to stick together at all times, because they should have realized right now that they're definitely when they're split up, they're not going to win against Team Datsuknix. So the key point is to stay together. We see the standard, a B rush, as they're now being dropped on from behind by Anchor, but Anchor getting immediately blasted by the entire team of Play Reborn as they're sticking together as one unit. And now Blackbird picking them off one by one. Potentially. Oh no, only one. I thought they would pick off more. And now them trying to get the drop, but again, we see them only very slowly advancing, with always losing one player in such an advance. And now Noscu getting Blackbird down. It's up to Lerox and TPMS to win this pistol round for their team. Lerox getting the headshot, getting headshotted by Hogel, and I think now that's the next round win for Team Play Reborn. Maybe. I mean, it's just the pistol round, so now we can't say too much about it, but definitely forcing them Team Datsuknix into an eco, as Team Play Reborn can actually get a starting point for well, get started ahead on well, building up eco and protecting their sites. They can't lose too many players, or not protecting sites. They're no longer on CT. What am I saying? But Baron getting the drop on Lerox, but now both of them not looking towards Trigger, allowing him to get Muffin. But Blackbird positioning himself well, getting bomb on here. Always the trades. As now a nade killing both Blackbird and Anchor. An amazing nade by Noscu right here. As now a 3v1 for TPMS. He is capable of doing it. But it's going to be very, very challenging for him as well. As he gets Kali, but now gets dropped on by Hogel, who is waiting in ladder room. Securing, I think, the three round streak for Play Reborn. Potential comeback time.
I think
we'll see it now.
The reason why they're coming back now is because Reborn's mom, Team Mama, is back in the chat and hyping them.
Exactly. They were just missing the support. Now the support coming back. Play Reborn can feel that. I'm telling you, Twitch has magical powers. And here's the magical power once again. It's proven once again. It's proven my point.
Surely it's time to do some more.
Exactly. Now we see both teams with a full buy, and I think this will be the deciding factor. If Play Reborn has found a way to strategize and get the drops on Team Datsuknix, and so far playing it quite well with the usual defeating Trigger right here, and now with again Hogel with the shot from behind, one person in CT with Blackbird. I think TPMS coming from short. Blackbird getting the trade with Hogel. And let's see if now they get the plant down. I think this round would again be a round for Play Reborn. They're making quite the comeback right here. Quickly taking a quick sip, as I think the team member of Datsuknix trying to save his M4. I mean, every weapon counts for Team Datsuknix right now. Cannot lose too many rounds in these early on matches. TPMS is scared. It makes sense because there's a Hogel trying to approach him. No, it's Bavan, sorry. I would be scared too.
No, you would be like balls to the wall, run and gun with a Bison.
Exactly, that's the reason. If I would have an M4, I'd be scared too. That's why I use a Bison. That's the core strategy. So remember, lessons learned, kids. Go buy a Bison. It'll help you in this situation.
Maybe Lerox will buy a Bison now because of that.
he has to. I would be disappointed if he doesn't. You see the full buy on Play Reborn's side and an eco once again on Datsuknix due to, well, very bad economy that they're currently having. So potentially another upper hand for Team Play Reborn. But getting the trade now, TPMS on Bavan. Losing Trigger though with an important player, but now Blackbird defending the side from both Hogel and Noscu. But there's his third one coming. Does he realize that he actually turns it back to Muffin? And of course, a backstabbing Muffin, we always know it. As now we see Datsuknix, knowing that both players are coming to A side, rotating their very good communication. But Kali getting Anchor, can he also get Lerox and TPMS? Good question. But he so far can't get it done. I'm actually gonna reset the music right now because the music is very weird. But actually, I think that was another round win for Team Play Reborn. So turning the tides as it seems. It ain't over. I see now the Mama, of course, immediately protecting their children. As I think what we're looking now here is exactly a 5-round streak by Play Reborn. Maybe they figured out the strategies, but we have 2 ops now on the side of Datsuknix. It's soon going to be 1 if it turns out like from Anchor side right now. As you see Lerox getting shot through the smoke by Bavan right here. And now Noscu trying to get the bomb for his team. Of course, they have to decide where to go. And of course, the big question is, I guess they're going to rotate, as I can see, to try and get the approach on A side. Let's see if they can actually pull it off, because Anchor is very low, but he has an op. They've already lost Lerox. So far looking very well, or very promising for Team Reborn, actually, for this round. As they're now trying to execute on A side. 2 people actually waiting, and of course that information going directly to the other players if that's next rotating to protect their side. You see Blackbird once again in his favorable spot, getting 3 players of Team Reborn. Very unfortunate for them. Can they get the third now? Hogel, of course, getting anger, but that gives away his position as well to the remaining of team members. And I think the wildcard here being Bavan, who is unknown to the remaining team members right here. And of course now Team Datsuknix has to find them fast, as really turning the tide by a very nice placement from Blackbird. As Bavan now gets the drop on Trigger, but of course making his position known to the remaining 2 team members. And with the op, TPMS takes the round win for Team Datsuknix, putting them back on the board and stopping a very long streak from Team Play Reborn, as I'm having a hiccup, of course. At the worst timings.
That's surprised.
No, I just get it at the worst timings always. Streamer's curse. As I'm still waiting to see a Bison. Missing that one, so definitely lost opportunity by both teams here. As you see, apparently a B rush, or not rush, but B strategy. As Anchor not being too slow, too silent, giving away his position, but of course that now giving away the information to the team members of Datsuknix that all players are coming to B side. As you can see, all the team of Datsuknix rotating to B and protecting their side successfully, moving Datsuknix one step closer to that very important match point and potentially winning the tournament right here.
Unless we see another comeback from Reborn.
I mean, they have the potential, but looking at they have another eco, the comeback will most likely come at the next round unless they find a way to stick together and well, try to turn that in their favor and actually Trigger knifing TPMS in the back a bit. Music is hyping me up, and I mean that's what I'm trying to do. If we don't have the in-game sound, we have some hyping music, okay? At least that's something I'm trying to do. See Anchor now trying to get
kill. Yeah, I'm getting also very hyped up here.
Exactly. Muffin getting the drop on, or getting dropped on by Anchor in the middle, and Blackbird defeating Hogel as Nosku with the Deagle trying to get Trigger, and actually might be able to pull it off, but actually only trades a lot of damage between both players as they're trying to retreat now and regroup to potentially take on B side, but TPMS just waiting there patiently. He has his eyes set on that door, and whoever's going to go through will die for sure. As Anchor trying to look through window, I guess they're trying to see what Team Play Reborn is currently trying to do, but now rotating as TPMS gets the drop on all 3 players, and that actually secures the match point for Team Datsuknix. They only need to win 1 more to win this tournament. Last round, last potential, well, for Play Reborn to make a comeback. And looking at their economy, they have only $50 to their names and only have Deagles. I think this round might be decided from the start. We see the mama trying to give energy. Let's see if it helps for their children. As Muffin gets picked up, but Hogel gets the drop on Anchor with very nice shot. But Lerox with the nade, TPMS with the nade, getting Baban out of the picture, and Muffin being very low, and I think one op shot just hitting Kali as well. Hogel getting Lerox as well, so even though they're taking a lot of damage, they're still able to protect, and now TPMS getting the drop on Hogel. And I think now it's looking very, very shady for Team Play Reborn for that potential comeback. So they have to play their cards right. They're both still in mid, as one player is deep in Palace. And I think now they're trying to strategize how can they do anything to get back and win this one round, because if they don't, it's all over. Last round for them, last potential point to come back. Let's see if they can actually pull it off. Kali getting Trigger, putting into a 2v3. You have to talk to Nosky after this. You have to discipline your child, I guess. As they have TPMS in the window. Muffin unfortunately not being able to connect here, but TPMS is hungry for him. He wants him. As now Kali and Muffin trying to push through, but with the spray actually getting him, and TPMS defeating all 3 players, and that decides it. With that, Datsuknix wins this tournament with a very close second for Team play Reborn, and both teams played a fantastic match. But it's safe to say that, especially in Mirage, well, that Suknix had quite the upper hand, and that worked very, very well in their favor. How did you like this last match?
I was hyped. I had to hold myself back, honestly. It was very, very hyped. No, it was interesting. But I must say the Inferno match was a bit more exciting because there they got quite some pushback from Reborn, and had the feeling it was like a walk in the park a little bit for them on Mirage. But still very, very exciting. I must say I like that positioning from Collie under Woods on Mirage when he got the 4 kill. Got them by surprise, which they sometimes need. But overall, very strong gameplay from the Tsuknix.
Exactly, and I think with that, from my perspective, let's take one more final look at the bracket just to confirm it as well. Just to show it as well, I think it's always nice to see. We can see it here, that Tsuknix with the 2-0 win against Play Reborn, winning the tournament and winning the Amazon gift vouchers. As I see Lerox, what will you buy from that 80 euro Amazon gift voucher? I'm curious. But all that's left to say for me, as the audio from the music is actually cutting off, more skins. I mean, it surely works. All I can say is I liked the tournament a lot. We had a lot of close calls, especially in the lower bracket. We had a lot of close matchups, especially between Inter and Stixon and Trödeltrupp. They had very close calls, and also Play Reborn versus Stixon, so always the close calls with that team. But overall, very well done by all teams. Congratulations for all the placements you've made, and of course congratulations to that Tsuknix for the win. Well deserved. Dominant performance by you guys. And yeah, with that, I think that marks the end of the AGC Spring Tournament in 2023. So Kate, any final words from your side?
No.
Nope. Then in that case, all I can say is...
I think, yes, Felix, I think it's time for the two of us to do some CSGO.
Definitely, definitely. We have to play some more. And also from my side, all I can say is the VOD of this tournament and every VOD of every stream that's coming on this channel will be available on the next day after the stream. So this VOD will be immediately available tomorrow on our YouTube channel. And also important to mention it here, we have tomorrow Breath of the Wild as a solo stream for me, and for all of you CSGO enthusiasts, on Sunday the second match of the CSGO ESL Division 6 by our team AGC Citron is going to take place also here on this Twitch channel, so look out for that one. And afterwards we're going to jump into some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven, which will mark the end of this week's of streaming. And then next week, probably starting Tuesday, we're gonna pick it right back up with some more streams. So all that's left for me to say is thank you everybody so much for watching. Make sure to tune into the other streams as well. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. Thank you, Kate, for being here for the second day and being this much needed support on the casting as well. And yeah, with that.
And 1 second. Thank you, Felix, for doing the commentating again. Without you, I would be completely lost.
Well, happy to do so. I'm always having my fun here.
And yeah. I can't wait to do the next tournament.
Yeah, I can't wait either. So stay tuned for that announcement. Yes, you have another end?
The little end. For all the LoL players out there, I know that our LoL team is currently planning on doing a LoL tournament sometime, I believe April or May. So stay tuned, follow our Discord for some upcoming announcements.
Exactly. So very exciting topics coming up in the future. With that, all it's left to say is, once again, thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next stream. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye.
Bye.